Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. Uh, it's been another week, guys. I hope you had a wonderful eclipse. Not sure where you were. I heard from many of you on social media and whatnot. We had an absolutely wonderful time traveling with family members. We traveled to Pittsburgh to be with my son and daughter-in-law, and then we got all together in one car and drove until we could find clear skies. We were going, according to our little radar app and everything. And we ended up in some place called Norwalk, Ohio, and it was delightful. We were looking for a place that wasn't super crowded. We saw a lot of traffic going to Cleveland, which we really wanted to kind of go near there, but then it looked a little cloudy. But anyway, all that to say, we were able to have just a wonderful experience. And I know this sounds a little geeky for some of you, like, what's the big deal? But when you're married to a physicist who loves to watch the stars, that's just what you do. And it was very different from the one in 2017, which was also amazing, but it was in a different season of the year. It was in August. And I remember hearing all those uh, cicada and those night sound bugs came out for that one. When it got really dark, it fooled everybody. The street lights came on. It was really something. But this year it was interesting that since it was we're in April, the temperature is not quite as warm, but it got to be quite warm where we were. And I was down to just one layer, took my jacket off and left it in the car. But when the total eclipse happened, it got cold. I mean, it was just a darkness that you could feel, and it was very much a spiritual experience for me as far as just again thinking of Psalm 8 with God who created all of this, and just the fact that there's a the way the shape of the moon and the sun, they just perfectly close each other. It's just a perfect distance from the earth. And yeah, there's so much that had to happen that was lined up by a very intelligent designer there. That just kind of blows the mind. And it was just wonderful to have the opportunity to be there. I know some of you may have missed it because of distance or because of just bad weather. So that was kind of the main reason for us not committing, to a location. Just we wanted to make sure that it was going to be clear. Anyway, let me go ahead and say hey to everybody who's in the chat. Kelly, you're so patient waiting there. So glad to see you there. And I did see the picture. I just haven't responded to you yet, and I can just tell you now the barrettes look really, really cute. Um, I hope you like what I have for you today. Probably won't be a lot new. It's been hard to being on the road and on the move. It's hard to. Well, actually, I was crocheting most of that time, but I just can't show you that just yet. As I'm working on a new design for the fall. Yes, it's going to be a throw, and it might be green. So I'll tell you that much, but it's using some new stitches, and I think you may like it. I hope you do. I already talked a little bit about this to my some of my watch subscribers on Zoom, but I'm gonna just wait before I say any more about that. There are actually two new throws coming in the fall. Two. So get your money saved up, get some of that yarn ready and lined up. You're gonna need a lot of yarn this fall if you follow my channel and want to do some of the things I'm doing. Um, Sandra, good morning to you. She says, getting ready for more rain in Southern California. Oh boy. That reminds me of Pittsburgh. We got to see some of the area kind of after the flood. They had a pretty major flood there last week. And then my daughter-in-law texted our group chat today and said, well, the flooding is back. So on parts of the downtown area, just kind of go underwater. So yeah, it's that time of the year, April showers bring Mayflowers, and you know what Mayflowers bring, right? Pilgrims. Ha ha ha. Old joke. All right. Wanda Gordon. So good to see you in our chat from beautiful sunny Bahama, North Carolina. And thank you for your cares and your prayers. I so appreciate that. I do try to spend time praying for you guys before I come on, and especially those who've uh, mentioned needs in the past. Just want to let you know I'm trying to be faithful. It's not perfect, but I'm trying here. Um, and and Cynthia, thank you. She says, I always try to plan my Friday around this live event. Hugs. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. That's so sweet. Um, I I try to make this a rock in my schedule because I just hate missing this time. Yes, Kelly, I did get your picture. I will take a look. I did take a look at, they were really cute. And Brad's mom, so good to have you here. Um, from sunny Southwest Chicago suburbs. All right. I do want to get to Chicago someday. I thought this was going to be my year, but it just didn't work out. I was really hoping it would be. But I do want to get together. I want to meet you and the others, Lynn and anybody else there. It would be fun to just get together at a yarn store somewhere, or even at a, I don't know, at a restaurant, and just have a lunch or something together. Margita, hello to you. And Susan from Tennessee. And Sheila says, hello, everyone. Another soggy Friday here in central PA. Yep. These rainy, windy weekends are cutting into my camping trips where I enjoy crocheting outside and enjoying nature. Yeah, you might have to wait a little bit longer for that, maybe till May. Uh, but yeah, I was just in your part of PA, Sheila. And yeah, uh, yep. We're getting the rain too. We had rain all night long. We have sunshine now, but we're gonna get more rain and pretty high winds today too. Just a typical April for us here. Let's see, who do we have? Oh, Swati. Yep, Swati says she'll miss again due to work. Hope all you lovely people are well. Happy Friday from a cloudy LA. Well, Swati, we will miss you, but hopefully you'll be able to join us next week or just whenever. Never any pressure from me, my dear. And Angie, good morning. And Deborah from a rainy Maine. And Alana says, hi, y'all from beautiful Tennessee. Good to be with the crochet crew. I'm so glad you could join us, Alana. And Chatika, welcome. And love to craft, waving right back at you. She says, it feels like I've been away too long. I just miss 1 week sometimes, and it feels like it just feels like months have gone by. And love to craft. Hello. Okay, I already read that. Okay, I'm seeing double here. And Mary, oh yes, she says morning. Very windy in Frederick, Maryland today. Hope all are having a nice day. Yeah, we're getting that here too, Mary. It's just over in Gaithersburg. It's just crazy, crazy windy. And I hear the wind is so strong. It sounds almost like a jet going over, but because we do get a lot of jets. We get a lot of military, a lot of small jets from our local general aviation airport nearby, and we also get a lot of traffic from Dulles Airport. Just kind of, they fly directly over, but I thought there was a jet going over, and I looked outside, and the trees are like bending over. It's like, well, I guess it was the wind, but it was really, really, really strong here too. Um, and okay, Wanda says, y'all bless Miss Bonnie with the thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Wanda. That's so sweet of you. Yeah, if y'all want to do the thumbs up, that would be great, but I don't like to pressure anybody into anything. I think I'm like the world's worst salesperson. I have to tell you a story. I was a Girl Scout many, many years ago, probably before some of you were even born. And I just remember feeling terrible and bad and awkward taking the 50 cents or whatever it was for the box of cookies back then. I do remember when the cookies went up to a whole dollar and everybody was shocked. I remember that, and it's like, wow, how do I even ask people for a whole dollar for these cookies, Of course, now I don't even know how much they are now. They're so much more. Um, but yeah, I just not comfortable. It's like you all do what you want to do, but I love you either way. Um, and Denise, welcome. And Love to Craft says, can you please join me in prayer for my, is it DAU? I'm not sure I understand that, but let me know and I will certainly write it down. I'll write it down now. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't understand the abbreviation. I'm not up on all the acronyms. Sorry about that. Um, and okay. And thank you for praying for her. I can certainly pray for you though. Either way, I don't have to understand it. God knows all of that. So that's the great thing about that. And Hannah, it's so good to have you in our chat, my dear. She's staying busy with strawberries this morning and helping Grandma Barker go through a bunch of those. And let's see. Uh, DL Chris says, hello, everyone from Grants Pass, Oregon. Wow. Welcome to our chat. And Phil, good to have you here. Says, good morning, watching from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Man, you get around, Phil. um, that would be kind of cool to do. I think for a little while, for a couple months, but I think I would get tired of the road. But thank you for serving us and what you do out there and just your patience to put up with the rest of us crazy drivers while you drive that huge tractor trailer and bring all our yarn and food and stuff to us. Thank you so much. And Janet, thank you for joining us as it was cloudy here, 90% eclipse between the clouds. Wow. Well, that's a lot. 90% is a lot. That is pretty cool. But yeah, the clouds kind of make it hard to see, but you can still see the effects, which is really cool. Even my family down south, they were like in the 85%, but they were able to see some effect from that. And if you want to see some pictures from that, I did take some and I did post them on Facebook and on Instagram. And I recently posted it's like a 9-second video of a time lapse, and you can see just how dark it really got. I mean, so it was like you have two sunsets and sunrises in the same day, which is really, really odd. Um, Oh, okay, I got it, Love to Craft. I read a little further. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Baby delivery. Got it. We'll pray for that. Yes, that's yes, yes, yes. I hope everything goes well for um your new granddaughter. Oh, how sweet. Um, and Felicia, thank you for joining us. She says, good afternoon, Bonnie and everyone. Thank you. And Red Hooked, good to see you. Good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, and everyone. Norwalk has a very good racing track. Fun fact, you probably passed a couple miles from my house. Well, I had no idea. Wow. Had I known we were going to be where we were going to be, I would have said, "Hey, let's go to Arby's and get a roast beef sandwich or something like that." But we didn't know where we were going to be until um, you know until we got there. And we actually did go to Arby's to get a roast beef, and I celebrated with one of their cherry turnovers, which is really wonderful. Probably not the healthiest, but it was delicious. And Phil says, I was fortunate to be near Indianapolis when the eclipse happened. Wow, that's great. So I guess you got to see quite a bit of it then. Um, what was really cool, I saw something else online that what it looked like from space. If you get a chance, you can just kind of Google. You can go to spaceweather.com, and I think they'll have a picture of that, and you can see what an eclipse looks like from space. And it's like a big round black dot, kind of making its way up across, which was pretty fascinating. And we did see some airplanes flying right in front. Leaving their jet trail as they went. But that I'm sure was quite a view, quite a different perspective from what we were getting on the ground as well. Maybe someday we can do it that way. Um, Actually, the next eclipse that's going to be in the US, I'll be in my 80s, so I don't know if I'm going to be around or would bother to travel. But if anybody wants to go to Sydney in about 4 years, Sydney, Australia, they're going to be having a total eclipse. So I talked to my husband. I said, "Hey, we should have a crochet conference in Sydney, Australia, 2028 or 29 or something like that." That would be kind of I'm just kind of joking about that, but if the opportunity arises, I'm all for it. Any reason, any excuse to travel for me is good. Um, and Denise says, I was able to watch the whole eclipse along the shoreline of Lake Erie. Oh, that sounds delightful. And she said it was spectacular. The horizon was amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Denise, I was just really taken back by just how much the temperature dropped and just how quickly. It was like somebody was just turning that dimmer switch off, and the darker it got, the faster it dimmed. It was and again, just with the reflection of the temperature of the sun being gone, and just how cold it can get just so quickly. And then when it came out, the warmth and everything returned just instantly. It was spectacular. Um, and Kim, hello to you from Texas. I hope you had good weather for the eclipse. And uh, I just got a bunch. Hold on a second. Something just went crazy with my loading here. Um, I just got a ton of stuff. Okay, here we go. I'm getting old, guys. um, and Patty says, "Good evening, and I just love you and what you're doing." Oh, how sweet, Patty. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. You guys are great. And and Denise said, "Yeah, it did get cold during the full eclipse. Yes, it did." And Deborah says she says, "Hi from rainy in Maine." Um, And Wanda says, "Good morning from sweet home," or "I'm at my daughter's house and my two youngest grands." Oh, that's wonderful. I hope you have a great time with them. Just lots and lots of time to play. And oh, good, Kelly. Kelly's getting a visit from her sister Cindy from California. I hope you have a wonderful time with her, Kelly. And softball Susie, welcome, welcome. Says hello from the Amboy, if I'm saying it right, Washington. Wow. And Kelly Dye says hello, Bonnie and chat. Lots of rain and flooding in Pittsburgh. Yep, I'm ready for some sun. Yeah, we saw that, Kelly. We had a really good chance to go downtown and see more of Pittsburgh than I've ever seen before. So that was a lot of fun. And we went up to the Mount Washington overlook, and it's just such a beautiful sight, especially at night. And we have Cynthia Dalton in our chat. She says, "I love camping too." Wow. Um, and Rockin' Alma Creations. Good afternoon from Georgia. Wow. I wonder where you are in Georgia. I got some kids in Georgia. Welcome, welcome. Um, okay. Thank you, Hannah. Uh, I'm getting a note from my daughter. Okay. All right. So Cynthia Burke is asking for prayer for her son-in-law, um, Stefan, um, diagnosed with ALS. Yeah, that is not good. We will definitely pray for your whole family on that one, Cynthia, because I know that can be um, that affects a lot of people. But we will definitely pray for him. Thank you for telling me, Hannah, so I didn't miss that one. Um, and Phil said the wind has calmed down here today. Still breezy, but not the strong winds it was yesterday. Yeah, they must have moved east, so maybe stay west of those winds. I can't imagine driving that big old truck with the winds. I used to drive a 15 passenger van. We had a Ford F-350. It was a 99. Um, we drove that for 19 years, 19, 20 years. Um, and I'd get blown around quite a bit on the highway because it was higher, but that ain't nothing like what you've got on your hands. Um, and Hannah says, I think mom is getting the system of weather that came through here in Conway. It was rainy and windy here all day yesterday. Yeah, we actually are, Hannah. It's just kind of tracked kind of northeast. And yeah, we were getting storm warnings yesterday, even with the winds and the bad weather. Yeah. And Jen Snow, welcome. And well, oh, Phil talking about the Girl Scout cookies says, yeah, now they're like $5 a box, yeah, or more. I don't eat them anymore because I just have to be careful about that. Moment on the lips, forever on the hips. So I think about the things that I want forever on the hips. If I do stuff that goes forever on the hips, believe me, but I want to make sure that it's stuff that I absolutely love before I commit. Uh, oh my goodness, Denise says they're $8 a box. Wow. Well, God bless them. I wish them the best with that. And I'm glad I'm not the little girl asking for $8 a box for cookies. I would have a hard time with that one. Um, she said, must be a regional thing with cookies. Yeah, we see them outside our grocery store. That's about the only time I see them being sold. Still love them though. I love those, what do they call it? The shortbread, and I think the thin mints. Well, actually all of them are good, but the thin mints and the shortbread are definitely my favorite too. Um, yeah, Hannah says to Phil and Denise, oh my goodness, I hope the cookies are worth it. I would savor every bite. um, I guess since we got into making our own cookies at home when the kids were growing up, it's hard to beat a homemade chocolate chip cookie, especially the way we make them. If I'm allowed to boast a little bit, my kids have gotten special awards at fairs, at the county fair with their chocolate chip cookies. Um, I remember my son Caleb, this is many years ago, he got the award for the best children's cookie, which is not an easy thing to do. And it was so funny because my daughter Becky was teaching him how to do it, but Caleb went beyond what she was saying, and he arranged every single chocolate chip perfectly in every cookie. I kid you not. Yes, OCD might be a word. I don't know if that's a condition he suffers with, but he definitely likes things really neat and organized. So he did that with all his cookies. They looked beautiful, they tasted great, and then he got the big cookie award at the fair. And my daughter Becky was like, because she taught him how to do it, and she'd been trying to do the same, trying to get the cookie award for years. She ended up, her and Becky and Hannah both have been able to bring home beautiful purple ribbons for their cakes at the fair. But it was just kind of funny that the first time my son bakes cookies in his life, he ends up with this purple ribbon. And I don't know that he's ever made them since, but that was just kind of a fun family memory. Phil says, my favorites are the Samoa's Caramel Delights. Excellent. Well, guys, I've been talking for 20 minutes, and let me go ahead and say something about crochet. All right. Let me show you what's coming on Monday. This is not crochet. I'm sorry. This is a beginning knit blanket. And while it may look complicated with this border, it really, really isn't. So I do my beginning knit, which is comparable. I mean, it's very easy to go from a crocheter to a knitter with the way I teach because I use the continental style. Okay. So when I use the continental style, it utilizes the muscle memory that you already have established for your crochet. Yeah, you're learning something a little bit new on top of that. Yes, but it's not like starting from scratch and building something from nothing. Like when you first learn to crochet and you have to figure out how to hold the yarn and all that. No, 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 no. You're utilizing what you already know with your yarn hold on the non-dominant hand. And the only thing that's different is that you're holding a needle as well. But you're not doing anything to manipulate that needle. You're just holding it just like you normally would. And then your hand that would hold the crochet hook, you're holding a knitting needle. And honestly, the motion of the needle is very simple compared to what you're used to doing with your crochet hook. So You start at one end and it just grows. So you're just knitting, just using the knit stitch all the way across. There's no purling at all. It's all knit, knit, knit. And you do learn how to increase and you learn how to decrease. And again, like I said, it's easier than you think. Okay. So give that a try. Give it, at least give it a look when the video comes out and let me know what you think. Okay. And the yarn that I'm using is very flexible. It's not wool, it's 100% acrylic, but it's a very flexible kind of wool yarn, acrylic. I have a thing of it in there, but you'll see it in the video. It just takes one cake of this yarn. And if you don't have this, you can just use stash yarn. Just give it a try. And if you don't want to, that's fine. I don't want to be pushy about any of this. For years, I resisted it. But then once I finally learned with the continental method, um, I still prefer crochet over the knit, but I'm glad I understand it. And occasionally I do go to my knitting needles to kind of give my hands a break from all the motion of crochet. So if you're looking for a way to learn, check it out. It will be there on Monday. And the pattern I'm going to try to make this one a free pattern for everybody. I don't do this very often, um, for a number of reasons. Um, but I am going to make this available for free for a limited time. So it will be in my Lovecraft store once I upload it. So just wanted to let you know, check it out. Or maybe I'll put it on my website. I'm not sure yet, but stay tuned. I may put it in both places. But I just want you to check it out and see what you think. It's easier to read a knitting pattern, in my opinion, than to read a crochet pattern. Much easier because between me and you, I think knitting is easier in a lot of ways. It has its own issues. Okay, there are anyway, I've said too much already, but just to let you know, Hannah's sending me another question. She said, "How would you help someone who has trouble with casting and dropping stitches?" Well, um, I think if you watch the video, I think you'll see uh, it can be helpful. I also use a circular. Do I have them? Hold on, I do have a set here. I may not have the exact size that I use, but let me show you. I have an entire set here, and these are circular. And let me just show you what this means in a nutshell. These are very, well, I won't even show you these because that's not going to make sense. Did I take them out and put them in my other packet? I'm looking for my connectors here. Okay, here's one. Okay, so I would use a bigger connector, but just to show you, okay, the knitting needles that I'm using, they're connected. So these are called circulars. And I think these help to not drop stitches because if you have a lot of stitches, let's say on one of the straight knitting needles, it's just, a long, do I have those over there? No, I don't. I never use those. But anyway, instead of having them on just a long straight needle, that's just, a straight long one. And I can imagine all of the stuff kind of falling off of that, right? That's possible. But what I do is when I'm not knitting, you can move all the stitches to the middle here. And that helps keep them in place. You can get caps to put on top, or you can just, stick this into the yarn ball so that these stitches don't come off. But I know when you're talking about when you're in the middle of knitting and then you drop a stitch, that's a problem everybody has. I haven't had it in a while, but if you're careful, you can get by with, I think, with the circular knitting needles. And what's nice about these is they're lightweight and they're small and they're about the size of your crochet hook and they feel much the same. And I hold it the same. And when I hold my yarn in my other hand, and then I just hold the needle as well, and then it's just putting these together. There's no throwing of the yarn like there is in the English style. This is all contained, and you can learn to go rather fast with it. Um, where was I going with this? Okay, and casting on. I only teach the long tail cast on right now. So that's pretty much all that I've used. And I do that very, very slowly. So I'll show you how to do that. Um, so anyway, that's coming on Monday. So you can check that out. Again, no pressure. I mean, if you're content with crochet, that's fine. This was I'm just kind of bubbling over with the excitement that I finally learned how to do this because I'd wanted to do it for years, but it just kind of eluded me. Um, Also, I wanted to uh, show you. I've shown this to you before, but you remember the green sweater that I showed you, the with the long sleeves, the braided cable sweater. Well, this is the version I did for for a summer version, and I used, let me show you the yarn. I got a bag of it right here. Okay. Is this even the same color? This is a slightly different color. Is it? This is a different color. Um, but this, nobody's paying me to say this. I just want to say that up front. But this is one of my favorite yarns for making summer sweater. Bamboo pop sock. This is a fingering weight or a number one weight yarn. It's bamboo, but it also has PBT, which is like, kind of like spandex. It's a little bit of elasticity um, in there. Let's see. Let me get my glasses on, and I'll tell you. Okay, it's 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, which both of those very breathable for the summer, 8% PBT, which again is the what gives it the elasticity. And this is made to be sock yarn, but just because it says sock yarn on the label doesn't mean that you can only make socks. Sock yarn is the best for crochet shawls, scarves, sweaters. So, just to let you know, for this design in large to fit me, I used 2 balls, and these, not, if they're not on sale, they're about $11 each, okay, on online. So I used 2 of these with the multicolor changing for the shell part, and then for the solid color, and they do have it in solid colors. But when you look at this, make sure that you're getting the pop sock. Each of these has let's see, 492 yards. That's a lot. 492 yards. It only took 2 for the rest of the sweater. Okay, 2 of the solid and 2 up here. These stitches up here are definitely much thicker. The bottom part is simply the wattle stitch. So I may put another video up at some point, just how to work the trim, but I haven't been able to do that yet. Um, so go ahead and check that out. I I do have several other summer sweaters. I do have a video link below with the videos that have all my crocheted sweaters, but in that listing are some short sleeve or no sleeve summer sweaters if you want to try to do that. I know making garments is a little scary for people um, because it's a little more important that you kind of follow the gauge, and you definitely want it to fit well. You don't want it to look weird. And so that's why I always tell people the numbers are fine in the patterns to my knowledge, but there's nothing magical about them. If you change up the yarn, each person who approaches a pattern is bringing a different gauge of if you're bringing a different yarn, different gauge, different style of crocheting, it's going to be a little different. So you have to follow a gauge. And beyond the gauge, the best thing I can recommend is that you have a shirt or a t-shirt or something that you like to wear that fits you well, that you want another one like that. Use that to hit your marks on the sizing. It's the most unscientific thing, I guess, in the world, but it works. Just Find something that fits you, use that as your guide, and you will have success. And that's how I do a lot of my sweaters. I know my size. I am a solid large, usually, sometimes extra large, just depending on the manufacturer. But yeah, that's what we would do. Um, and Sheila wants to know, would it be possible to add short sleeves to the sweater? I know you have one with long sleeves. Can I just follow that pattern? Yeah, just follow the pattern for the long sleeves and then just stop. That's actually a great idea, Sheila. So you can follow the same pattern, but instead of making the full length sleeves, just cut them off, or stop working them where you want them to stop. That's a great idea. Um, yeah, Hannah wanted to know which pattern that I was talking about. It's called the. Uh, let me look it up. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't take the time to do that. I think it's Celtic braided sweater. I think that's what I may have called it, or the yeah, I think it's the Celtic braided sweater. So thanks for asking that, Hannah. Okay. Some other news. Let's see. Let me look at this. We have a new live Zoom class coming for the Watch subscribers. And if you're interested in becoming a Watch subscriber, you can look in the video link below. And to get to that, you just hit more. It'll have a little description of the video below. Hit more, and you'll open up a lot of links. But the address is watch.bonniebaycrochet.com. If you want to sign up, it's $7.95 a month or $79.50 a year, which is a little bit of a savings. Um, Most of this content and additional exclusive content is there on the channel. It's all ad free, it's spam free. Nobody's going to track your video habits or watching and share that with the world. That doesn't happen there. So if you're looking for a quiet place where you don't want everybody to watch your business, that might be it. And I do have quite a few complimentary patterns that you can just download as PDFs. It's not for every design there, because the ones that I don't own, I can't offer as a free pattern. But they're complimentary, because if you are paying a fee each month, then obviously it's not free. But it is there for the taking if you're interested. Um, and we do have the Zoom classes, and these are no extra charge to the $7.95. It's just part of the package deal. And the class is going to be 3 ways to crochet braided cables. I'm going to be teaching this May 9th from 2 to 4 p.m. These are Eastern times, and May 10th, which is a Friday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. And if you're a Watch subscriber and you want to sign up for those classes, either of those, they're both the same, just at different time slots. Just send me an email, bonniebay@me.com, and I will add you to the list. And as the day gets closer, I will send everybody the Zoom link for that class. Okay. And if those of you who haven't signed up for the free newsletter that I have for the Bonnie Bay Crochet newsletter, check it out. You can do that at my email. Actually, at my website. My website is bonniebay.com or bonniebaycrochet.com. Either of those will get you to the same place. And I send it out about once a week. I didn't get it out this week because of the travel. So it's a few times a month. And it's just kind of updates you on different things, and maybe occasionally fun pictures. And I have been adding patterns to this every so often. I've been kind of going way back into the archives and pulling a pattern from the past and just publishing it free in the newsletter. And some of these are paid patterns. So if you wanted to get in on that, just you can go to my website and scroll down and just sign up. And just to let you know, I do not share these lists with anybody. And people have asked for them, and I'm like, nope, don't do that. Don't like it when my information gets sold, and I'm certainly not going to sell other people. So just to let you know, I respect your privacy, and we'll take care of that. And Patricia wants to know, oh, thank you, Patricia. She says, thank you for this channel. Do you have a pattern for a granny square cardigan? Uh, yes, I did answer that question, Hannah. Thank you. Um, I don't have a granny square uh, cardigan. I just have like a granny square vest design on my channel. It's just a kind of a whimsical, kind of a summer vest with fringe, or you can choose to do it without fringe. But I don't have a cardigan. Sorry about that. There are many though. Um, there's actually one. Hmm. I would check with Annie's.com. I know they have that readily available. And Margaret Hubert, you might want to look her up. She has done many, many, many books on granny squares, and I know she has many different designs using those. She's a really sweet lady, a good friend. And I want to thank, oh my goodness, Heather, thank you so much. My goodness, $50. Um, I'm going to add that right now. I'm going to bring this up. I need to add that while I'm thinking of it. I keep a running total on a list in my computer here. There it is. Thank you for your kind donation. So that brings us up to $85 for our next donation. What I do is the super chat, I save that, and when we get to $100 or above, I will send it in a transaction to them. 100% of it goes. I know uh, YouTube, they take a percentage out, but I send it all to them. I take the percentage out of my income. I don't worry about that. But that goes to a charitable organization. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, there are a few that we really enjoy. I think the next one, I think I'm going to try. I'm going to be adding Stephen Curtis Chapman's Show Hope organization. And it's an organization that helps parents in the US who want to adopt, who are, for whatever reason, are called to adopt a child, but don't have the money to pay for all of the legal cost. So it kind of helps parents to be able to adopt a child. But we also, on our list, on a regular list, would be Shriners Hospital. I think we are going to try Show Hope for this next round of donations. But yeah, Shriners Hospital for Children is another one on our heart, as well as Rancho 3M. It's an orphanage and Christian school and outside of Juarez, Mexico. And one of my daughters and I have been there, have served on the compound and helped build the fence, helped sew clothes, do all sorts of things while there, many years ago, but still remember that experience well. And Kathy wants to know, what brand of knitting needles do you use? Okay. I'll show you what I have. I showed you this set, and I prefer, and if you start knitting, you might have a different preference, and that's fine. Knitting needles are different than crochet hooks. They're just sticks, you know what I mean? But I really enjoy these sets. I have two sets like this. These are kind of dark and colorful, and then I have another set that's more of a natural wood color. And I get these from Knit Picks. And these are, you can adjust the size of the. Um, I'm losing my vocabulary again. This can be adjusted. You can use different size these things, and you can also, of course, adjust the size of the needles. The only disadvantage of these is you have to be careful that these stay tight and don't become disconnected when you're knitting. They do have some others available where they are permanently joined, so you don't have that problem. I kind of like using the ones that are interchangeable, but again, you have to be vigilant about making sure they don't become undone. but these are available from Knit Picks. They're not cheap. I think an entire set with the case. They have sales periodically, but they're anywhere from 50 to $70. But they are very, very nice, and I've not needed anything else. Uh, yeah, since then, because they're so again, so they're so adjustable, and I just really like the feel and everything. But you can probably, if you just want to get one to try it, try some of the like the bamboo uh, circular ones that you can pick up at any Joann's or Michael's or place like that, and just see if you're going to like it before you spend, a larger chunk of change. Because I don't want you to spend, that much money and find out that, "Ugh, I really don't like this." Um, okay, but that's a great question. I'm trying to, and some people like metal. I can't stand the metal. It's just like silverware scraping together. I don't like that. And with the wood, I feel like it gives the yarn a little bit more to grab onto, and it's less likely to slip off. I mean, you can still slip loops off accidentally. But anyway, that's my take on it, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Uh, how do I get back to my live chat? There we go. I'm so sorry. I am falling behind again. But I think I've covered almost everything on the newsy part. April 27th, which is 2 weeks from now, I am going to be at the Frederick Fiber Festival. This Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 5. I'm gonna have a table. I'm gonna have, all the books that I have in my house are coming, or the ones that I've written, will be available. I'll be there if you want me to sign them. If you don't want me to sign them, that's fine too. I'm gonna have some samples of crochet. These would be samples that I've made that I haven't worn, except they were used. Somebody wore them for the photography, but that's it. Um, I'm gonna have a whole rack of those things you can look through if you wanted to purchase them, and I don't purchase them at crazy high prices. Usually the cost of the yarn plus a little bit more. So, I mean, I don't yeah. They're not, I guess they're designer, exclusives, but, I'm also very much aware that I don't wanna price myself out of the market either. So we will be there. There are going to be over 100 vendors. This place has gotten so big, and, if you don't like huge crowds, like, I know the following week in Maryland, there's going to be it's the first weekend in May, they're gonna be the, Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which usually has a ton of people there. I mean, wall to wall people. It can be very crowded. Don't know if I'm gonna be in town for that one. It looks like my plans are changing, and I may not be around for that one. Um, but I'm still don't know yet. We're still waiting to get nail the schedule down for sure. But I know the Frederick Fiber Festival is a good festival. It's well attended, but it's not like super packed. So if you're wanting to avoid big crowds, come to the Frederick Fiber Festival. If you're in the Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania area, Delaware, these are, drivable distances where we're going to be. It's going to be at the fairgrounds, right near downtown Frederick. Um, yeah. So, and I think it's free. I don't believe there's a cost to get in. I know for the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, I think it's a $15 fee now to enter. 15, or I think it's around 15 or $11 or something around in there. I need to double check on that. But this one is free. And again, 100 vendors. There's going to be a lot of yarn. My friend Laura from Jewel Designs is going to be there with all of her her little buttons and things that she uses to connect shawls. And you can even talk with her and meet her if you wanted to. So yeah, and if you're in the area, please stop by. You don't have to buy anything. Just stop by and say, "Hey, I would love to, talk with you." And if you mention just that you like the channel or whatever, um, let me know. I have a pen for you. I have some really nice pens to give away this year with the Bonnie Bay Crochet logo on it. Um, Much nicer than the ones I've had in the past. So yeah, and I actually have new tape measures too. So just come by and say hi and get a tape measure from me. Okay. Um, let's get back. Let's get back to the chat here. Uh Okay, I'm getting the way. This is way behind here. Phil says his favorite Girl Scout cookies are Samoas and the Caramel Delights. I'll settle for those two, Phil. Those are good. Um, all right, so okay, and Denise says it's a wonderful cause. Yeah, Girl Scouts are cool. I was in Girl Scouts for 5 years, so um, okay. Love to Craft says it looks like an acronym, but it's my father fingers and the comment accidentally sent before oh, trust me, I understand that about the what you sent earlier about the prayer request. I get that. I unfortunately have to go in and correct things a lot too. I'm glad I can correct text now with Apple. You didn't used to be able to do that, but you can now. And Carmen, welcome, welcome. And Elaine says windy and rain in South Jersey. Oh wow, yeah. Thumbs up. I hope you guys are fine from the earthquake. I understand from last Friday you had a lot of. I think my husband said there were like 8 aftershocks to that as well. So hoping everything is okay there. Um, and thank you, Jen. She says praying for anyone in needs of prayers tonight. Thank you so much for doing that. That is a huge. There's really nothing kinder than we can do for each other, really, and pray. So thank you for that. Um, yeah, thank you, Hannah, for your comments. And is it Vima's crochet? Waving right back at you. And Pamela and Stephen, hi back to you. And oh, thank you. Vima's just said, love the scarf behind you. It's beautiful. Love the colors. Thank you so much. Um, did I actually get through all the comments today? Wow. And yes, Sandra, Hannah does do a wonderful job. And Kathleen, okay, I missed some comments. I see what's happening here. Kathleen says, better late than never from Northwest New Jersey. Well, welcome, welcome. Well, Kathleen, you see how late I am. Did I really catch up, Hannah? I think I'm going to have to do a special dance for this. Wow. Um, and Heather, thank you for your kind comment. Um, yeah, and thank you. Thank you, Heather, so much just for your generosity there. That is a huge donation, and I will treat it as an offering. I mean, as best I can to where it will do the most good. Which, and I think Show Hope with Stephen Curtis Chapman's adoption and help. I think that's going to be a great way to offer that. So, well, let me go ahead and read a little bit to you. I may just go ahead and give Hannah a break and end a few minutes early. Shock of shocks. Um, and Maggie, welcome. She says, good, blessed Friday, everyone. Yes, yes, ma'am. And Vicky says, I use my grandma's knitting needles and crochet hooks that my grandpa created from wood. Great memories of being taught and learning these crafts. Oh, that is beautiful. Yes, ma'am. But yeah, Hannah is very much a blessing. A sweet, sweet girl. I couldn't ask for any better. I tell you what, because she's, for those of you who don't know, she's also serving my mother-in-law full time as an aide in the home, and as you can imagine, it's practically 24 hours 7. She does go to school. She is studying in school just a little bit and taking a class, but beyond that, she is on the clock helping serve. And I know some of you in the chat know what that's like. It's something that a lot of people outside just can't imagine, don't understand. There's a lot of misunderstanding that Hannah gets sometimes, like, well, why don't you do something else? Or why don't, what else do you do with your time? They have no conception of what it means to be available to someone 24 hours. So she's great. And Carol, oh, thank you. She says, please let us know if you come to the West Coast for a crochet yarn fair. We'd love to meet you. Carol, let me know if you have any information on something that is out your way that you hear they're looking for teachers. Let me know. I would be, if they help to. My biggest thing is if they will help cover my expenses getting there. I don't. It, I don't require, a big paycheck is all I'm trying to say. I just do like to have my travel expenses covered because that at times when I've gone to some conferences, I just about break even because everything I earn goes to pay for my flight and my hotel, and I prefer not to do it that way. I prefer to make a little bit at least, if I'm going to be, um, you know, going through the trouble of preparing and teaching and traveling. Uh, and Maggie says, I'm sorry I'm late. You're never late. I make pillows and it's hard to find Bernat bright yarn. Ugh, yeah, I would check Joann's. Joann's might be the best place. And Cynthia says, for this retired nurse, I understand. Hannah's, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Cynthia. A lot of people do. A lot of people do, but they're usually in our demographic and have lived a while, not footloose and fancy free and under 30. So, and Felicia says, yes, we caregiver. Okay, yes, caregiver is a full-time commitment. I took care of my grandmother and mother and father. God bless you, Felicia. Oh, wow. We're all, oh, thank you, Carol. We're all blessed by your ministry in Jesus' name. Oh, I appreciate you guys. Um, and Denise says, it's a lot of work being a caregiver. I took care of my mom. Many prayers for you, Hannah. Absolutely. And Hannah also helped me take care of my mom for 15 years. So it's, she knows what to do and how to do it. And plus that, she's also a trained nurse's aide. So she has a little bit of a medical background as well. Yep, Hannah, thank you for encouraging Pamela, thank you for encouraging her. Um, um, well, let me go ahead on that. If I could try to read this now, I'm going to just read a psalm. I just can't come up with anything better than reading a psalm of David. Hmm. Why am I getting emotional? I think just thinking of the service that my daughter gives, it's a lot. Okay. And you may wonder, how do people do this? Well, this is one way how. It's Psalm 121, and it's a song of ascents. This was a song they would have sang as they were making their pilgrimage up to Jerusalem or up to worship. I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From whence does my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. I just think sometimes we just need to be reminded and encouraged of where help and where truth and where real hope lies. And yeah, it's not in this world. It's in our God, and He's got this. He's got this, y'all. um, so anyway, well, thank you all for your kind comments and for joining me today. Um, let's see. I don't know what next week holds, but I'm hoping to be available and going live. If not, check out the community section on YouTube. You can look at the tabs and where you see playlists and things. You hit community, and that's where I put a lot of announcements if there are any to rearrange my schedule. But I'm hoping to see you all next Friday. Have a fantastic week. God bless.